3, 2, 1, action. We often grow up chasing a version of love that's been edited and color graded for the big screen. We're looking for that cinematic happily ever after, just like the ones in the movies. But real life doesn't have a scriptwriter, and what if I told you that love is actually messy, unpredictable, and sometimes just plain exhausting? It isn't always a beautiful story, and sometimes it's just a lesson you didn't know you needed to learn. So let's go look at an example. This is Brandon, and he's currently dealing with the fallout of losing someone he was certain was the one. Let's go check in on Brandon and ask him a question. So Brandon, what made you so sure that she was the one?
To be honest, it was the small things, like the way she laughed, the specific way she carried herself, and the conversations that we would have, and honestly, it would just bring me back down to earth. And it was those tiny details you only notice when you're really looking at the person. And I built this whole future around those details, but I guess I was the only one building it. She wasn't the one, because we didn't end up together.
Now, if you ask the people around Brandon, they saw a different movie playing out.
Low-key, I knew Brandon was cooked from the start. Like, he was taking it super serious, but she just wasn't. Like, we tried to tell him that attraction isn't the same as connection, but I guess we understand this. Like, when you're in that deep, you just want to hear what you want to hear. We understand that.
Now, this leads us to the trap of the unreliable narrator. In one horror movie that we all know, 500 Days of Summer. We usually view the story through Tom's eyes, right, making him the victim. But if you strip away his bias, Summer was being honest from the start. However, she was getting her message across in a loving capacity. And the lesson of the movie is we often fall in love with the potential of a person rather than the actual person standing in front of you or in front of us. And we ignore the red flags because we're too busy painting them green. And it's more than just shared interest or liking the Smiths. It's the ability for two people to grow in the same direction without losing themselves. And if you're the only one compromising, it's not a partnership, it's a solo act. Now, the hard truth is, when it comes to love, the question isn't, can someone change? However, the question is this person willing to change for you? And you see, we all have our flaws, and it's unrealistic to think otherwise. However, when it comes to loving somebody, you have to be able to accept them for who they are in front of you and not the delusional side of who you expect them to be, right? And the question is, do the two of you actually like each other to begin with? Can the two of you coexist and grow with one another in ways that are positive? And I do think that accepting someone you thought was the one to not being the one is a hard pill to swallow. It's tough, but you have to be able to face that reality and accept it, because the time for that relationship came the same way it passed. And I think that we all have to learn and accept that maybe these people in front of us, maybe these people that we grow fondness to, aren't meant to be in our lives forever. However, they're only meant to be with us for a particular season.
He was playing for keeps, but she just wasn't. Okay, this is really start. I don't like it. Hold on.
You don't have to say, oh, he was playing for keeps. You could be like, oh yeah, he was trying to like
I know what's.
Yeah.
He was serious, but she just wasn't.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.